Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of this Minecraft survival series. I have actually been doing quite a bit. I don't know if you've noticed behind me or if you recognize where I am. Obviously that's my barn, but I've been doing a lot of extra building and I'm kind of excited to show it to you. I have a lot of plans today, but mostly I'm just kind of making more plans. I really don't have tons of huge building projects right now, but I kind of want to get a lot started. So let's just get right into it, I guess. Now, the first thing I wanted to point out to you was I did do a little bit more trees here, adding on to this little forest, and kind of gave it a little more of a floor too with carpet and just different things around to kind of pretty it up a bit. And you walk around here and enter our main base area. And also, because it is autumn, I have decorated all around for autumn. It's finally starting to feel like autumn, and we just had to decorate a little bit. Our tree has some leaves hanging off of it, even though the leaves are still green up there. There's still some leaves that have fallen all over this place. And our campfire, we've got a couple hay bales set up if you wanted to sit by the campfire and roast marshmallows or something, I don't know. And we've got a few more hay bales and pumpkins just spread throughout everywhere. Now, I didn't really decorate beyond this main area because there really isn't much beyond this place. We've pretty much stayed in this one spot this entire time, which is totally fine. So this is what I have been up to lately. I have just been kind of tinkering around in this world. I think it's looking really cute. I want to add more trees over in this direction, and I really need to find a home for my dogs so they're not just sitting in this big field. I don't even know how many I have. They're probably not even all here. Sometimes I find them in random parts of the world that I left them there. I just have way too many dogs. Anyway, I want to get this custom forest built up all along back here. It's just going to be a matter of time before I can get into that. Now, if you remember last time, I was working on our library, and I have kind of done a back entrance to it, or a back window, and I have a quick time lapse to show you first. So I'll show that to you first, and then we can talk a little bit more about it and some future plans I have for this world. So as you saw from that time lapse, I had finished the back wall of this library. Now, I will say I'm not 100% pleased with it. I was trying very hard to do what you guys suggested with the waterfall curtains of sorts. And I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Maybe what I will do is replace this glass out for a darker glass, like a gray, to kind of blend in with the stone a little better. Maybe it's just the streaks in the plain glass that looks weird to me, because I've never really liked those streaks. Maybe it will look better if I do that. But aside from that, I have finally finished the rest of these bookshelves, and I can't tell you how long it took me to get all the leather for all of this, and all the string for all of these looms, which I had several of you guys mention the looms would make great empty bookshelves, and you're right, they do make great empty bookshelves, but I still like my spruce shelves too because it adds some depth and it's just not all flat. So I just have a combination of all three instead of just two or whatever. I think it looks good. It just took me so long to do this, especially since I don't have a cow farm yet. Maybe I should make one, but now I don't really need one now that this is done. So as you saw from my time lapse, I have this little walkway I kind of started, and I'm kind of coming up with plans for what this is going to be. So there's a big drop off here. We're probably going to end up making this a cliff face because I have some plans for what we're going to do back in that area. If you look over there, you can see our portal from over here. I have some plans for what we're going to do over there. We're probably going to connect this to a pathway over there. But for now, this is all I have gotten to. I was originally thinking whether I should make it more symmetrical, but I kind of like this asymmetrical look. It just adds a little bit of interest, makes it more unique, I guess. Maybe we'll stick a statue in here somewhere, I don't know. Now outside this, if you saw my time lapse, I actually redid it a couple times with this window, and it was looking super ugly to me, so then I just stuck a tree in the middle of it because yeah, I think it looks so much better with the tree. I hope you guys agree. I actually really like that tree. I think it turned out very nice. So it's not the most beautiful thing yet, but maybe once we add more trees, more greenery around here, it will start to look a little more complete. Now, because I have been so busy in this world doing all this stuff, I really don't feel like doing tons of big things today, but I am going to make some plans for bigger things. First of all, though, I do want to work a little bit more on this pathway / garden and this little fountain. Now, we could add on to this even further. I don't think it's going to end there. I think it's going to keep continuing over, but I'm not quite sure how it's going to look yet. So let's just start with a little pathway. So I have a few blocks here that I have been collecting. Oh, maybe I should get some gravel too. Oh, we can add in gravel later. I don't think the gravel will work right away because these blocks are kind of suspended, I think. Some of them are, this one isn't, but there you go. You can see that we have some blocks that are only a single block wide. So let's just fill this in with a little bit of these blocks. Maybe I should grab some plain stone too if I have it. And we're just going to make a little path that goes down here. Now, while I'm building this out, I kind of want to talk about what I plan to do for the area right through those bridges over there. So I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if I'm going to go through this, but maybe I will, because it's the first thing I came up with, and usually the first thing I come up with is the first thing I do, because, yeah, I can't get it out of my head once I come up with it. I don't know if you guys are like that, where you come up with an idea, but then you want to see if you can come up with other ideas, but then you can't, so then you end up doing the first idea because it was the only idea you had. That happens to me all the time. Anyway, so over in that area, I'm thinking about doing some kind of lake, but a custom-made lake, and then we'll have to do a little bit of terraforming to get all of the mountains and stuff to kind of match. But I think it would look amazing. The more I picture it, the more I think it will look really nice, and then we'll probably fill it in with a lot of houses to populate the area a little bit better. I don't know, it needs houses. You guys have mentioned that several times in the comments that I should build a village, and I'm going to. I'm actually going to probably build several. I just haven't quite gotten around to it yet. Still building up our base more, but I think we're going to actually get started working on a village sometime soon. At least I want to start plotting out an area for the village. In this episode, we probably won't get around to actually doing any houses today, but that is the plan. And I think this path is starting to come together. I don't know how thick I want it. I kind of like it having just a very narrow path that kind of winds down here. And once we get to this point, I don't know how far it's going to continue, so I might just stop it here for now, and when I'm ready to add on to it, I can. And I completely forgot about this doorway, so I added a kind of a half a path that kind of looks like it was incomplete, a little bit worn. This is the main path though, that maybe I'll put another extra block right here. And I kind of just have it fading into the library, like it's all connected somehow. I don't know, it's just an interesting idea. There's not an actual door there, it just kind of goes outdoors. So it would be kind of nice to have this little area, at least this first initial spot, more enclosed, as in probably on this side mainly. I want to have more trees to kind of block the view of the map room. I want it to look more enclosed and more secluded, almost like a little sanctuary of sorts, but not really. It's just going to be another garden, just a little peaceful place where you can come out and rest. So I'm actually going to have to go get some more materials so I can decorate this place a little bit nicer. In here, let's go ahead and drop in a few walls and slabs, and we'll make ourselves a little bit of a railing along this wall. Now, I probably will want to mix in some cracked stone and stuff later, but I don't have those with me right now, so this is all we're going to be doing. That looks pretty good. Now, in this little area, we can throw in some flowers. I have a few with me. Not too many. Let's just put in some bigger flowers because this is a pretty tall wall, so we want this area to look really nice. I don't think I want to put too much of anything by the tree though. I want to just keep everything off to the side. So let's throw in some of these little white flowers, and I think I have some ferns. Let's throw in some ferns. Those look nice. And we'll just keep that coming all the way down. Actually, I probably will want to put some ferns by the tree itself, and I don't have any bone meal with me, otherwise I would bone meal a little bit over there. Can drop some peonies here and lilacs, and just keep them going. There we go, one little garden complete. Now over here, I probably do want to go ahead and put in some kind of tree. I don't know though, this little waterway, I kind of have it kind of looking like it's going to this little pond. I kind of faked it though. I had to put like a block of water there to kind of fake it, make it look like it was actually reaching all the way through there. I'm gonna have to do something over here though to cover up this nasty wall. I don't know, maybe we'll just block it off with stone bricks or something. Most of this build right here that I'm working on right now is just a big mess of blocks. I'm just placing blocks and hoping it looks okay. I feel like that's most of my building style though. I really don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm glad you guys like it though, because yeah, I'm totally just making stuff on the fly and I'm hoping it looks okay. I just keep working at it until it looks okay. And if it doesn't look okay, I just cover up my mistakes. That's basically a secret to how I build. Right there. There you go. So right here, because this waterfall is kind of like going into the ground, let's just put a couple stairs or something, I don't know, to wall it off a little bit and make it look like it's more complete. There we go. Now this one is a corner stair and it shouldn't be. Let's try that again. There. So now it kind of looks like it's actually going down a pipe or something down to the fountain. I don't know, just to make it look a little more natural. Now this one is just going straight down. Let me go see what that one's up to. What is it doing? Oh, it's going down like this and then out. Maybe what we'll do instead for this one, I'm not really like that. Let's see if we can't get it to just go straight down and then turn. I don't like this little dip it does. Alright, now this is annoying. I have to redirect the flow of this water, get it right down where I need it to be. Right there should be fine. And then we will add this dirt back in here. Again, I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'll just figure out how this will all look when I get around to it. Oh, there's a glitchy block here somewhere. Where is this block? Somewhere there's a glitchy block and I'm not sure where it is. I think I got it. And this wall over here, I don't even know if I'm going to keep it yet. I think I will for now. Let's just go ahead and line this with some stone brick. So for this cliff face, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I was originally thinking about just taking this wall and extending it down and making kind of like a bridge almost kind of look, just have these giant supports. But the more I think about it, I think it will look better to actually terraform this part right here and make it look like this is coming off of the mountain. So we'll just have to bring a little hill up to this point to make it look like it's just sitting on top of a big hill. And I think that will look much better and it will be a lot easier for me, honestly, so I don't have to deal with all the weird curves and stuff of a support structure. So that is the plan for now of what I'm going to do in the front. But yeah, I kind of want to jump down from here and see how this is looking so far. Whee! Okay. Let's go over here. This place is so hard to navigate with all these trees, but let's see if we can't get on top of one of them. Oh, okay, so you can see how it looks from back here. It actually doesn't look too bad, but I think it will look better, like I said, once we bring this mountain up to this point and make it look like it's actually sitting on a hill. And I think that will look really, really nice. So yes, and once we get a few more trees popped in the sides, that will look great. Now I think this place is spawn-proof for now. We've got our lanterns and torches. Oh, maybe we should put one in this corner too. There. I think that looks right. And we've got some lanterns just kind of hidden on the walls back here to keep them nice and hidden. But it still looks really nice to have a couple in the walkways and you come into this very beautiful library. I love the darker atmosphere in here too. It just, I don't know, every time I picture a library, I always picture it being like this, really dark. So this fits the atmosphere perfectly. Now I think before I do anything else, let me switch out these windows because I am very displeased with them. This center window, I will leave it for now. I'm not super happy with it. I like the green I have at the top. This clear glass is just ugly. Too many streaks. So let's switch out those and I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. I think it does look a lot better. Of course the blue isn't as blue as it used to be because it's covered by glass, but I really do want to stay consistent with how this probably would have been built, so it's going to have glass covering it. And as I was doing that, I actually came up with the idea of using some stairs. Do I have stairs on me? Oh yes I do, right here. And just kind of pulling those across here and making like a ledge to kind of help make these shapes a little more interesting. And I felt like it was really flat before and I think that will help it quite a bit. Yes, I think that does look a lot better with those stairs there. It gives it a bit of a ledge Now this part here still looks a little funny. I'm not sure what to do with it. I wanted to raise it up one just so I could get a lectern in there. If I had to change anything else, I'd probably want to change more up there with some of those details as it merges into the mountain kind of, because right there you can tell that that is kind of starting to become more of the mountain and less of the rest of the building. Now what I'd like to do for the rest of this episode is really just start kind of making plans for what we're going to do with this area. As I mentioned before, I told you a bit of what I was planning, but it will help you to actually kind of visualize it a little bit better. So we have this whole big space to work with, and the first thing I thought of was I kind of want to work with the current terrain I already have. That was kind of the mentality I had going into this world. I was just going to try to get things to kind of go with the flow of the natural generation, although I have kind of messed with it quite a bit. For example, whoa, did you see those Enderman particles? They were just floating there. I wonder where that Enderman went off to. I didn't even hear him teleport. That was weird. But for example, this garden area I made, I actually dug it down into the mountain. So I actually manually dug down into the mountain to get that down to that level. And I'm thinking I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now the mountains themselves, I don't want to touch those a whole lot, probably a little bit to clean them up a little bit. But I'm not going to actually expand upon them necessarily. I'm just going to kind of keep them that general size, maybe just cleaning them up a bit on the edges. Now this whole area where I'm standing that is all stone, I'm not sure how far back I want to do it, but I'm thinking about turning this into a giant lake. So it's going to be a lot of work digging up all the stone and making it deep enough. There are a lot of cave systems right under here, so that will help a lot with the actual digging. But I would love to make this whole thing a lake, and then we're going to build a path that goes around it, possibly with a lot of houses kind of inset into the mountain, similar to how we have the library inset inside the mountain. Maybe this group of people are the mountain dwellers and they like to live inside the mountains. Not necessarily all of the houses will be in the mountain, but they are going to be built directly next to the mountain. And then we'll have a giant lake for them to look over, and maybe a forest on the other end with other houses possibly. I haven't thought that far ahead of it. That's kind of the general idea I have in my head. And I think it would look amazing if I can get it done. And it's going to be a bigger project, which is something I'm kind of needing more of right now. I did a lot of little projects, but now I'm ready for something a little bit bigger. It's going to take me a little bit longer to do. So I'm looking forward to it. So for now, I'm just going to kind of get a basic idea of where I want the path to go, because I want to have a path starting from this side and I want to wrap around this mountain, and it's going to be overlooking the lake. Now this area right here, where this portal is and where this big hole is between the mountain and the portal, I'm probably just going to connect this wall up to this point and make it almost like a cliff face, because the lake is going to be over here and it's going to look kind of funny that the lake is right next to this big drop off when you would expect to see a waterfall. So I'm going to have to wall it off because we don't want to have a waterfall going down right into our tree. That would look weird. So that is the plan for that area. Now I know it's kind of hard to visualize it just listening to me rambling on and on about it, but I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what I was thinking, and if you do have other ideas for what we could include or add onto it, or maybe even not do it entirely, but I'm really liking the idea of overlooking a lake. That whole area back there is probably going to need to be filled with trees. I have so many trees I need to build in my main base still. I just want custom forests everywhere, and trees are a lot of work. I never realized how much work they were because I've never actually done them before in survival, but it seems to be I'm getting really addicted to them. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing, but they're very time consuming, but they're worth it. So it is a good thing. So right now I'm just going to mark off a basic path out of dirt that's going to go around here. Maybe we'll decide how far this will extend out. It's probably not all going to be the same level. Whoops, but let me see. How far would we want this to extend out? We could probably make it extend farther out along here and then going all the way back around there. And now that I think about it, having the path like this and having a giant lake in the mountain, it's going to give us many more opportunities to add large waterfalls. So maybe we could probably pick a spot to add a giant waterfall coming down. Maybe from the highest peak, maybe that would look really nice. To have a giant waterfall coming down, maybe going behind all the houses and into the lake. Or maybe even in front of the path. We'll have to really think about this. I'm coming up with so many ideas, so this will be a fun project. It's probably not going to happen right away. We'll probably just work on it a little bit at a time. Maybe we'll have other projects we can do on the side too. I do have some other little projects, but this will be our big one for now, getting this village. Like I'm going to do for the garden back there where the library was, I'm probably going to do the same thing with this path. Wherever this path ends, I'm probably going to just bring up the walls of the mountain up to this point, so they look like they're sitting on a ledge instead of just floating above everything. I think it will look a lot better, and I hope that makes sense what I'm saying without actually seeing it, but right now you can't see it. It would take me way too long to do all that right now in this episode, so I'm just going to talk about it for now, and you guys can give me your input, your thoughts on all of these things I'm talking about. I don't know. Like I said before, whenever I'm building, I'm really just doing the first thing that comes into my head. I barely ever second guess myself unless I try something and I don't like it. All that being said, those are my plans for this area, my next big project. I would love to hear your thoughts. I think it will look amazing once it's done, but oh man, this is going to be a lot of work. But I'm looking forward to it because the end results are going to be so nice. So you guys are going to have to let me know what you think and give me your ideas too on what we could improve. Speaking of ideas, we should probably go look at my suggestion book, because I think I did enter one new suggestion or something that we are going to add to our to-do list. And please don't feel embarrassed or shy to give me your ideas. I know it can be kind of embarrassing. I probably wouldn't do it to other people, but let's go ahead and look at this latest suggestion I have. This one says you should do a castle ruins or some kind of temple to surround my iron farm. This is in relation to me asking how I should cover up my iron farm. And I think with the current plans I have, you won't at least be able to see it from a distance once I get all of the forests in place. But I do love the idea of adding some kind of castle ruins to it. I feel like that would look really, really cool, and I'm already getting ideas in my head for that, and that's going to be another big project entirely, but it's definitely one I'm going to keep in the book. If you do come up with a better idea though for the iron farm or another one, I'm open to any new ideas. It doesn't matter if I already have a plan in place, plans can change. So whatever you guys feel like you want to see me try to do, just let me know. I am really enjoying these fall decorations though. They're not going to be here for too much longer because fall isn't going to be lasting very long, but I'll try to keep them up as long as possible. I don't know if we'll be decorating for winter or anything, because Minecraft doesn't really have tons of winter decorations other than covering the entire place with snow, which doesn't sound like a fun thing to do, because it would be a lot of cleanup. So we're probably going to leave it like this for as long as we can. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I didn't really do much. It was a lot of talking, just making future plans, but I do like to hear your input as much as I can, because would you believe it? I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but I'm glad you guys are liking this series, and I love these autumn decorations, so we're going to walk through them a little bit for this outro. And do you see those lanterns I added on the tree back there? Aren't they cool? I think someone mentioned them, but I also was planning on adding them for the longest time, and I finally did it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you again in another episode. So until then, bye!